This is TWiT.
I was talking last week about CNN Plus and how folks were a little bit kind of concerned that CNN Plus was not doing so well, that the subscribers were not doing well, etc. But it looks like things are a little bit more interesting than we thought because, so CNN Plus, it launched just a few weeks ago, right? And there was reportedly about $300 million put into this service. And I heard actually after the show from some folks who had CNN Plus and who had used it and were saying like, yeah, I just don't get it. I don't know what the point of it is. Why do I have this? What does it provide me? I can get these things through other means. And it seems like Discovery, well, I should call it Warner Bros. Discovery because that is the company overhead of CNN, feels the same way because shortly after that acquisition or that finally combined acquisition that took place, it appears that CNN Plus is going to be shut down. This is according to an Axios report. This is according to an Axios report, who, of course, quoted sources familiar with the matter. They apparently got an internal memo as well. The subscription streaming service will cease operations on April 30th. The memo says that basically the streaming market's super complex and this CNN Plus thing is not providing what we need it to. And apparently there are several leads, several different executives that work at CNN who are going to be leaving the company. The first one to go was Andrew Morse, who is the head of CNN Plus and the head of digital at CNN. Andrew Morse will be leaving the company. Alex McCollum will be replacing Morse as the head of digital, but of course not the head of CNN Plus, given that that's going to be closed down. Mm-hmm. On the face of it, it just sounds like, okay, this streaming service is being shut down. But there were people who worked for CNN Plus in particular, and their jobs are obviously in question here. What the Axios report says is that employees of CNN Plus will continue to get paid and receive benefits for 90 days after the service shuts down. During that time, they can try to find a job internally with Warner Bros. Discovery, and if they don't, they'll have 6 months of severance. So that is pretty generous. I'm happy to hear that, despite CNN Plus
taken care of.
Yeah, I mean, it only opened 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
The fact that, you have this job and then suddenly, we're shuttering this is kind of terrifying. So I'm glad that they're doing something about that. What's interesting, the Axios report kind of suggests that as this acquisition or merger was underway, CNN was thinking about launching CNN Plus, and the new executives were saying, we don't want this. And the internal people are going, but we want this. And no, we don't want this. Oh, but we want this. And instead of waiting for the merger to go through, they just went ahead and launched CNN Plus anyway, hoping that it would just get pushed through and work. And the new people came in and said, we told you we didn't want this. Why did you launch this? You did it, and now we're closing it down. It appears, too, there's an argument that if CNN had waited to launch CNN Plus after the merger, like if there was a way for it to actually have happened, then it could have been sort of moved to align better with the goals of the new company versus having it start beforehand with the ways that they wanted it to go. It made more sense for the new people to just shut it down and say, no, we're not doing that. And it seems like CNN Plus, they hired some new folks for content in particular. Warner Bros. Discovery is considering putting that programming into just the existing CNN app. So essentially, it will not be, this extra thing, but will be kind of part of the app that already exists. That to me makes sense. If you want those few things that CNN Plus provided, why make a new thing when you don't have to? So, yeah, all very interesting. And I guess the other thing I forgot to mention now that's just coming to mind is the executives, all the people that were like, oh, yeah, we feel really good about this. The launch has been great, It was, I think it was 100,000 was the last number that was quoted. Now I'm not seeing it, but I remember reading.
I thought I saw 150,000.
You saw that too, and now I can't even find it in the piece.
I'm pretty sure it was 150, but...
Did they take it out?
Yeah, so inside CNN executives saw the launch as a success. As of Tuesday, CNN Plus had roughly 150,000 subscribers. And I mean, their goal, their original plan from what this Axios report says is becoming profitable in 4 years, investing $1 billion into the service. At this point, they've invested $300 million in. And so this is, to a certain degree, this is cutting, not bleeding entirely.
Right.
bleeding a little bit is better than bleeding entirely, I suppose. So, but wow, they, as I said on Twitter earlier, they out-Quibied Quibi, and Quibi actually seems like it was around for a really long time by comparison. Quibi was like around 6 months. This thing lasted a month. And I mean, I wasn't surprised at all to see it, even though the story that Axios is reporting here and what you were just saying seems to have more meat to it than just, oh, they only have 150,000 subscribers, let's kill it.
Yeah.
It seems like there's some real politics around this that are driving the kind of erratic nature of the start and the stop.
Yeah, this could be an HBO Now series or one-off.
Inside CNN Plus, the downfall.
Because it does seem like there were people kind of playing chicken with each other.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I mean, touching on what you said, and it really, makes me double down on what I said last week, which is I'm not saying that this kind of content isn't valuable. Someone would find this content valuable, but I'm just not certain that someone is willing to spend $6 a month on this content alone. Mm-hmm. If, like you said, it's rolled into something else as an also, component, then great. That makes more sense to me for this sort of content. I mean, we all can get news on our phones any time of day and night. It's not it's not something that's really hard to find. Original movies and original music and those things maybe have a little bit more value because we aren't drowning in it from all directions. But news, I feel like news comes easy.
Yeah, if I'm up to my shoulders in water and someone's selling a subscription to water, I'm going, I don't really need that.
Yeah.
Water plus.
Water plus. It's water, but better. It's water, but never-ending streams of it. So, all right. Well, we hardly knew ye. Literally, we hardly knew ye, CNN Plus.
We did hardly knew ye.
In fact, I didn't really know you. I didn't subscribe to you. But anyways, maybe next time it'll work. I don't know.